Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to audit course session number 5. Today we are going to discuss the common emitter RC coupled cascade amplifier. We will perform its DC analysis and will find a midband gain. Here it is. This is my first common emitter stage and this is my second common emitter stage. As you can see very carefully that the DC values, that is the resistor values over here, R1, R2 is similar to R3 and R4, and RC1, RE1 is similar to RC2 and RE2. Okay, even the bypass capacitors are similar, CE1 and CE2, and the coupling capacitors are also the same. So that's why these two both the stages are symmetric, and this BJT, the cascade BJT, is powered with 15 volt supply. Okay, and we have applied a AC source. So basically cascade amplifier are used to amplify very small signals. That means in earlier case, when we had only one single stage RC coupled amplifier, the gain was around, let's say, minus 200. Now if I want to amplify microvolt signal, I want to have a gain of around 1000. So let's say that we have the second stage also connected, whose gain is also similarly, a little bit, let's say 100. So 200 gain of first stage, second stage gain is 100, you have a 2000 gain over here. So that's how that's why we require a cascade amplifier. Okay, now since both the stages are symmetric, so the DC analysis of only one stage will be enough. Okay, so we'll consider any one stage and we'll perform its DC analysis. So here the beta 1 there are two transistors, transistor Q1 and transistor Q2. Both are NPN transistors. So basically the beta value is given. Beta 1 is equal to beta 2 is equal to 220, and the base to emitter voltage we are assuming it to be zero point 0.7 volts. Now your VTH formula, we will apply Thevenin's equivalent at the base and we'll find out the remaining DC parameters. The VTH formula is R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC. That will be 1.364 volt. RTH is R1 parallel to R2. That comes out to be 2 kilo ohms. IBQ is VTH minus VBE upon RTH plus 1 plus beta times RE. If you substitute all those values over here, you will get 18.89 microamperes. Now, ICQ is beta times IBQ. So that will be 18.89 multiplied by 220. So you will get it as 4.156 milliamperes. And VCE is VCC minus ICQ into RC plus RE. That comes out to be 10.22. Now, the RPI value, the small signal parameter, parameters are RPI and GM. So RPI value can be calculated by the formula beta VT upon ICQ. So that number comes out to be 1.376 kilo ohms, where VT is 26 millivolt. Similarly, your GM value is ICQ upon VT. And if you substitute it, you will get GM value as 159.85 milliampere per volt. Now, since both the stages are identical, we have IB1Q is equal to IB2Q, IC1Q is equal to IC2Q, RPI1 is equal to RPI2, and GM1 is equal to GM2. Okay. Now, for this circuit, we have to determine the input impedance. So, input impedance is seen at the base terminal of the op-amp, base terminal of the transistor. So over here, if you look at it, will be R1 parallel to R2 parallel to RPI1. Okay, and the output impedance, if you look from here, from the collector terminal of transistor Q2, it will be simply RC2. Okay, so let's find out that. So Zin is R1 parallel to R2 parallel to RPI1. That will be 22K parallel to 2.2 kilo ohms parallel to 1.376 kilo ohms. So Zin comes out to be 315.16 ohms. And Z out will be RC2, which is equal to 1 kilo ohm. Now, the midband gain formula is given by AV mid is equal to V out upon V in, which can be written as V out upon V1 into V1 upon V in. Okay, so what is this V1? V1 will be the output of the first stage. Now, since we want a total gain, so total gain will be V out upon total V in or VS over here. V in and VS are same. Okay, so we divide it. If I want to calculate the gain of the first stage, that will be A1. Let me just see if I can annotate a little over here. Okay, so let me use this color. So here the voltage we are considering to be V1. Okay, V1 voltage. So what will be your AV1? Your AV1 will be, let me just write a text now. Your AV1 will be equal to V1 divided by V in. Okay. And what about your AV2? AV2 will be equal to V out divided by V1. Okay. And your total AV mid will be the product of the two gains AV1 into AV2. Okay, so this is what the strategy is. So we define this voltage, the output of the first the amplifier to be V1, and then we will individually break the gain as AV1 will be V1 upon V in, and your AV2 will be V out upon V1. Okay, and if you multiply the two, you will get a total AV mid. So that will be V out upon V in. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me just clear the drawings now. Okay, I think let me clear the view, annotate, clear all my drawings. Okay, fine. So let us continue. I hope that AV mid concept is clear. So that's what AV1 will be V1 upon V in, and AV2 will be V out upon V1. So AV2 formula is minus GM2 into RC2. And if you multiply the two, you will get the result as minus 159.85. And AV1 formula is given by minus GM1 into RC1 parallel to R3 parallel to R4 parallel to R pi 2. Okay, so that's the formula for AV1. If you substitute all the values over here in the calculator, and you will get a number as minus 71.78. So although both the stages AV1 and AV2, both that is the gain of the first stage and the gain of the second stage, although both the stages are having similar resistor values, their gains are not similar. Okay, and why is it so? So as you can see, the gain of the first stage is little bit lower than the gain of the second stage. So what happens is when you connect the first stage to the second stage will load the first stage. Okay, the second stage will load the first stage, hence the gain of first stage falls a little lower. In spite of having both the stages symmetric, still you have AV1 and AV2 differently. So that is what you observe over here. AV1 and AV2 are, AV1 is minus 71 and AV2 is minus 159. And AV mid will be the product of the two. So you multiply this minus 71.78 with minus 159.85. And you will get a number as 11,474. Okay. And you just convert that into, dB. So that will be 20 log to the base 10 into 11474. That will give you 81.19 dB. So this is all about the theoretical calculations. Now let us check these values out in the simulation part. So already I have kept that ready. The simulation circuit is kept ready. We will just verify it one by one. What are the values? Okay. So over here, if you can see carefully, the register value, it's taken around, I think, 10 micro. So this is around 10 microfarad. Okay. Now also let me take okay. So this is 10 micro. R1 is 22, R2 is 2.2, RC1 is 1K, RE1 is 150. Similar is the second stage, and CC2 is 5 microfarad, and CC3 is also 5 microfarad. Here is my V out, and my power supply voltage is 15. Here it is 15. Fine. And now let me just minimize this for a few seconds. Now let us concentrate. So already I have built up the circuit. It's nothing. It's just like we have collected a few registers 2 transistors and around 5 capacitors. Okay, so CE1 and CE2 values are 100 and 100 microfarad as it is given, and beta value which we have to take for both the transistors is symmetric, that is around 220, and VB1 VB2 internally might be 0.7 volts. Now let's start defining. So we have to give a AC input supply. So we'll go to the library and type voltage. So you'll get one voltage. So you can paste it at the input side. And now we have to give input sine wave. So go to advanced, right click, go to sine. So let's say we want to give input very small. Let's say the small input is 0.1 millivolt. Okay. And the frequency, let's say it's around 30 kilohertz, 30K. Fine. And let's click on OK. So this is my input of 0.1 millivolt peak value. The power supply is given as 15 volt. So now it's the time to give the label part. So I'll right click over here, click on the label net and write here Vin underscore the name. Okay. Similarly, I'll label the output node, that is Vout underscore the name. So let me just rewrite it as Vout. Fine. So these two things are defined. And now the transistors will be NPN1 and NPN2. I'll rename this Q1 as Q1 underscore the name. So you can replace it by your name, and Q2 underscore the name. Okay. So more or less everything is ready. Only thing is that we have to define the dot model statement now. So how to write the dot model statement? Right click, go to draft, go to spice directive, and here you have to write dot model NPN1 NPN. Now remember, we can have to give a saturation current also, reverse saturation current, which we can give it as 1E minus 14, and beta value is written as BF equal to 220. Okay, the same statement we have to write for the second one, but for that we have to press Control M to go to the next line, and we can copy it, and we can change the NPN1 to NPN1 to NPN2, and click on OK, and we can paste this onto the screen. So right now, both the transistors are having a beta value of 220. Now, the next step is to check the DC analysis part. So for the DC analysis part, we go to simulate, we click on run, and we click on the DC operating point and click on OK. Automatically, you get all the DC values. Here, it's very difficult to view. So what we will do is, we'll close this, go to view, and click on spice error log. This will give us much better, presentable form. As you can see, both the transistors Q1 and Q2, our models are NPN1 and NPN2, and as you can see, as expected, all the parameters, DC parameters and the small signal parameters are exactly symmetrical. So over here, your IB value is coming out to be 19.1 microamperes. As you can see, let's cross check this with the for calculated values. IB1 and IB2 are around calculated was 18.89 microamperes. Here we are getting 19.1 microamperes. IC, its calculated value is 4.156 milliamperes, and here we are getting 4.2 milliamperes. Okay, VBE we have assumed it to be 0.7, but it was 0.692, and VCE is around 10.2. Okay, simulated value calculated is 10.22. Now here we get RPI also. RPI calculated is 1.376, and in simulated we are getting 1.35 kilo ohms. Also GM value calculation, by calculation it is 159.85 milliampere per volt, but by simulation we are getting as 162 milliampere per volt. So as you can see, both the parameters are similar, and the beta value, as you can see, beta AC and beta DC are seen, that is 220. Okay, so this is how you verify all the calculated and simulated values. So next, this was the DC analysis. So after you do this, take the print screen, you can expand this so that it's visible on your Google document. Okay, and now I'll closing this. So we have verified the DC parameters of both the first stage and the second stage of your common emitter cascade amplifier. Now, to get the AC part, that is the midband gain, what we have to do is we have to deactivate this .op. Okay, So deactivating means I'll put a colon and click on OK. And now I will again go to simulate, click on run, and go to transient analysis, because we have to plot V in versus time and V out versus time. Now we have given the frequency as 30K. Okay, so 1 divided by 30K will be around 0.03 millisecond. So let's say we want 10 cycles. So we will give around, let's say we want at least 5 cycles, right? We'll multiply this number by 5. So you will get around 0.2. Let's give around 0.2 millisecond. Okay. So let's say the time period is 0.2 millisecond. As soon as you define the time period as 0.2 millisecond, you will get that in the x-axis. Now in the x-axis, you have to right click over here. Let me just maximize this. Let me go over here. Let me first divide it into plane plot. Okay. Now first I will plot V in. So do we have V in marked over here? So, and next we will plot V out. So we have V out plot over here. Okay, let me see what has gone wrong. Okay, fine. Let me give it around, it's 30K, right? 0.1 millisecond. This is 1E minus 14. Just a second. Okay, just a second. Okay, so let's plot the output again. I'll go to simulation, click on run, and I'll maximize this. I'll divide this into two plane plots. For the first plane plot, I will plot the V out. And for the second one, I will plot the V in part. Okay. So what will be the total gain? Total gain will be the total output peak divided by total input peak to peak. Now for that, we have to adjust the cursor and adjust the peak value, which might not be so accurate. Then this is another cursor. You are getting the value, but this might not be so accurate. So what we need to do is, I think we have to give over here 0.1. Okay, let me just try that again. Yeah, fine. Fine. We have given zero point 0.1 millivolt and we are getting this output. Correct. Now to determine peak to peak value is slightly difficult. I mean, not difficult, but its accuracy is the question mark. So we have to be very, very precise. So for doing that, let's say that Spice, let the Spice calculate the values for us. Okay. So for that, what we will do is we will have to add few statements over here. So we'll right click, go to draft, go to Spice directive, and we'll write dot measure. Using dot measure, we will do it. So first we'll measure the V out peak to peak directly. Okay. And then this will be V out, the label name underscore the name, V out underscore the name. Okay. Then we can do control M and again do dot measure. This time we'll calculate the V in peak to peak. So that will be V in underscore the name. And in the next line, we will write dot measure gain. Okay, we want to save in the parameter gain. Let us see that we directly calculate the gain over here only. So that will be V out divided by V in. Okay, so we'll write these few statements which we are expecting us to give the answers directly. So again, I have simulated it. You got the values, but now if I go to view and if I go to the Spice error log, I get these values directly. As you can see, very, very clearly. Okay, so I'm getting these numbers. The V out peak to peak is 2.24. V in is around 20 microvolt, and the gain is around 11,211.5. Okay. Now let's say if I want to convert this gain into dB. Okay. So if I want to convert this gain into dB, I'll write one more statement over here. Let me right click and add control M. So I'll write dot measure gain in dB will be given by param, and it will be formula will be 20 log. So 20 log to the base 10 of gain. Okay. So that's what we have over here, 20 log to the base 10 of V out upon V in. So let me just simulate this again, click on run, and let me just view the values over here. Spice error log. Okay. So here you can see directly the gain is coming over here. And let me compare this value with the theoretical values. Fine. So over here we have AV mid as 11474. Uh, we are getting it by calculation, and by simulation we are getting number as 11211.5. So very, very close. This value earlier I've simulated, I was getting slightly different. It doesn't matter. It's quite close. And the AV mid by calculation is 81.19 dB, and by simulation it's 80.99. So that's 81 dB. So pretty close. The values are really, really matching. These are the calculated values, and these are the simulated values, the gain. Okay, so as you can see, there is not much difference between the two. Okay, the second again in dB, it's quite close, it's 81 dB. Now, we want to find Z in and Z out also. Fine. So next we will focus our analysis on finding Z in and Z out. Okay. So I'll close this. And in order to find Z in, let me open that folder again. Audit course session number 5. So the Z in and Z in and Z out values by calculations were given to us. Let me open that, and then we can continue with our discussion. Okay. Uh, the folder is opening. Till that time, we'll focus on what is Z in. So basically, we'll go to draft and write some comments. So Z in is basically, as we know, V in divided by I in. Okay, V in divided by I in, and we will apply an external test source and force the current through that, and that V test upon I test will be my Z in. So let me just make the font size as 2 and place it over here. Okay, so that's how we do it, Z in. So in reality, we will replace this source and we will call this as a test source. Okay, we'll rename this node as test node. Okay, and we'll click on OK. And here, instead of sign, we will apply a click on none and select AC amplitude as 1 and the phase will be 0. AC amplitude will be 1. Okay. So now, how will you calculate V in your Z in? Z in will be the impedance looking into the base terminal. So we apply a test source of 1 volt small signal AC source of amplitude 1, and we pass the current through it. I mean, okay. So how much? Let's say we just close this, and I think we have to deactivate this dot tran also, because we are going to do the AC analysis on it. So we'll go to simulate, click on run, and yeah. So we'll go to AC analysis. We'll select the type of sweep as decade. Number of points per decade, we can give it as 100. Start value will be 1K and end value will be, let's say, 1 mega ohms. Okay, so we are seeing at these frequencies what will be my gain. Okay, so over here, once I click over here, I will right click and add trace. So what is the value of Zin? So Zin will be V test divided by I test. Okay, over here. So it will be V test. If I plot here V test and divided by I test. Okay, and click on OK. Okay, so as you can see, these are the numbers which you are getting. Okay, I'll delete this phase plot, and around 30 kilohertz. So why 30 kilohertz? Earlier we have applied the sign, I mean, we have calculated the gain at 30 kilohertz. So let's set it at to 30K. So nearby 30K, we should get around Zin as, okay. So we have to convert this into right click into linear, okay, not in dB. So this is the value which we are getting. Around nearly around 30 hertz, we are getting around 823.49 ohms. Okay. And by simulation, by calculation, we are getting around 815. Okay. Z in input impedance as 815. And by this simulation, we are getting 823.49 ohms. Okay. So that's the value. That's how you check the input impedance value. Now for the output impedance, we'll do the similar thing. So let me just copy this. So for the output impedance, we'll apply the test source at the output. Okay. So Z out will be given by Z out over here will Z out will be given by V out divided by I out. Okay, that will be equal to V test divided by I test. So we can delete this source from here and we can paste it on the this side. Okay, we'll delete this also. So let me just drag this input source and we'll connect it over here. Okay, and I'll just rename this as V test. Okay, so right now again, if we calculate V test and divided by I test, that will give us output impedance. That is output impedance looking into the collector terminal of transistor 2. Fine, let the range be the same. Okay, let the AC range will be the same. And let's check this simulation now. So again, go to simulate, click on run, and here we have it. We are directly getting the value over here. So we'll again check it at V test upon I test. It's already there. We'll check it at around 30 kilohertz. Exactly equal to 30 kilohertz. We are getting around 1 kilo ohm. As you can see very clearly, it's the value is 1 kilo ohm. And in by calculation also, we are getting 1 kilo ohm. So that's how we can calculate the input impedance and the output impedance of any amplifier. We just have to apply a repeat. We just have to apply a test source and we'll calculate the current, that is V in upon, V test upon I test will give us Z out. And over here, V in upon I in, that is V test upon I test will give us Z in. So that's how we calculate these numbers and we will verify it by simulation. Okay. So over here, the exercise part. Okay. And one more change is there. I forgot to tell you all that is CC1 value have to be given as 5 microfarad. Okay. By mistake earlier I took as around 10, but it is 5 microfarad. Okay. So just one thing which you have to take care. Okay. Now, after this is over, we have to do a small exercise, or you can directly start with this. All the resistors and the capacitors value being the same, you just have to add this. Okay. Just change beta to 200. So earlier over here, the beta is given as 220. Just change it to 200 and prepare a simulated table, all the values. Okay. The entire values, the DC parameters, the input impedance, output impedance, and the midband gain in dB. And then rest all same, only change supply voltage to 12 volt. Okay, so again prepare a table and repeat everything with a supply voltage of 12 volts. Okay, so this completes the DC analysis and the midband gain analysis for your common emitter RC coupled cascade amplifier. And we have seen how to determine the AC analysis, the DC parameters. Then we saw how to calculate the midband gain, that is the transient response. And then we estimated how to calculate the Z in and Z out in LT Spice. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Next time we'll start with some other topic. So until then, have a good day and thank you.